In our everyday life, the world looks very solid. Objects stay in their place, matter seems fixed, and reality appears to follow cause and effect. This is the world we are used to. But this belief is only true on the level we can see with our eyes. When we go deeper, smaller than atoms, into the quantum world, these familiar rules collapse. Quantum mechanics tells us that there is no hard, solid, smallest particle. At the foundation of matter, there are not tiny pieces, but Einstein's probabilities. This means the basic building block of the world is not a physical object, but potential. This alone already goes against everything we thought we knew about reality. What's even stranger is that these tiny entities are not determined until they are observed. When we observe them, they appear as particles. When we do not observe them, they exist as waves. In other words, their form is not fixed beforehand. The act of observing is what makes them take a definite shape. This means reality is not something already completed and waiting. Its form appears only when it is observed. So the world is not fixed the way we think. Before we look, the universe is a sea of possibilities. After we look, one possibility collapses into a specific result. Reality, therefore, is not something that simply exists on its own, but something that is shaped by the act of observation. This has huge meaning because it gives the observer a special role. The observer is the one who chooses which possibility becomes real. The old belief, the world is already decided, doesn't hold in this deeper level of reality. The world is fundamentally probabilistic, potential, and open. The reality we live in is not a fixed physical structure. It is flexible, full of possibilities, and shaped by observation. Once we understand this structure, we can finally see how consciousness, prayer, intention, and expectation can have real effects on physical reality. The strangeness of the quantum world becomes most dramatic in a phenomenon called quantum entanglement. Entanglement means two particles become so connected that they behave like one. And this connection breaks all our normal physical ideas, because even if the two particles are thousands of light years apart, observing one of them makes the other react instantly. It happens faster than the speed of light, and it has been confirmed again and again in real experiments. For example, when matter and antimatter destroy each other, two photons shoot out in opposite directions. These photons do not have a fixed direction of spin until someone observes them. But the moment a person observes one photon and it begins spinning, the other photon, no matter how far away, starts spinning in the opposite direction at the exact same instant. Newtonian physics cannot explain this because there is no physical connection between the two. So what allows this instantaneous synchronization? Many physicists think that these two particles behave this way because they are part of one larger field. Some call it an invisible matrix or the quantum field where all possibilities exist. In this field, distance has no meaning. Information is not being sent from one place to another. Both changes simply appear at the same time because they are part of the same system. Imagine you are a programmer creating a game. Inside the game, you place many green goblins. These goblins seem to exist in different places and different times inside the game world. But in reality, they all exist at the same moment inside one field, the program code. So if you change one line of code from green to red, every goblin turns red instantly, no matter where it appears in the game world. Their locations inside the game do not matter. This suggests that things that look separate in space and time may actually be one single entity at a deeper level. And the field that contains everything simultaneously, beyond space and time, is what physicists call the matrix or the quantum field. These words sound complicated, but in spiritual terms, you can think of this field as consciousness. If you dream, do the characters in your dream actually exist in separate spaces and times from you? No. In your dream, one person might be on Earth and another on the moon, but they are not truly separate. They all exist inside one field, your dream. And the substance of the dream is consciousness. In a dream, you, others, objects, time, and space are all expressions of a single consciousness. That is why our thoughts and points of view quietly influence the scenarios inside a dream at every moment. In the same way, our reality also looks like it is made of many separate places and times. But it is all being expressed inside consciousness. Because of this, the moment consciousness interacts, the world seems to collapse from a sea of probabilities into one definite form. More accurately, consciousness does not affect the world. Consciousness is the world. So when consciousness moves, the world also moves. From this, an important conclusion naturally appears. The thoughts we hold and the direction of our observation really do influence the world. When we set an intention, that intention makes certain possibilities more likely. When we hold fear or despair, those emotions strengthen different possibilities. The observer is always choosing reality, and we have never stopped observing, even for a single moment. This is proof that we are far more influential than we think. The essence of manifestation is actually simple. It is the act of consciously holding a specific intention. That means focusing your awareness on one particular potential. Manifestation is not magic that pulls miracles out of nowhere. It is the act of choosing one probability more strongly than the rest. So if we think, I want to become a superstar, will we suddenly become a superstar overnight? Consciousness does not work that simply. And it is not only about needing time for reality to appear. Consciousness is the world, and the world is consciousness. The world we live in is shaped by who we believe we are, what feels natural to us, and the lens through which we see ourselves and everything around us. But here is the key point. If today I suddenly say, okay, I am a superstar, that does not mean I instantly gain a superstar consciousness. Just as someone who has never seen the color blue cannot easily imagine it, someone who has never lived as a superstar cannot instantly shift into that identity simply by declaring it. For example, someone who has lived only in Asia cannot suddenly have the mindset of a North American. To shift into that mindset, they would need to interact with North American language, culture, history, economics, directly or indirectly. Over time, their consciousness naturally starts to blend with it. To fully become another level of being, someone with a different weight, depth, and identity, you need the matching attitude, senses, thinking patterns, self-concept, and identity. To do that, you must adopt new actions, choices, and habits that are completely different from the past. And new habits, practiced over years, create a new consciousness. Inside you, many layers of change must happen. But we simplify this complex transformation into one sentence. It takes time for a goal to become reality. In truth, it is what time for consciousness to transform. This is why manifestation is not about simply saying, I am rich. Instead, you hold the intention sincerely and then ask, if I truly were rich, what kind of day would I live? And then you slowly begin to experience the habits, actions, work, and trial and error that such a life naturally contains. If you allow the process to unfold calmly, giving your consciousness time to shift, then, once your inner world is changed, the outer world will suddenly match it, as if it had always been that way.